Well, in this crowd, it's, if you don't know who my next presenter is, you shouldn't be here. Gloria Steinem. Writer, lecturer, editor, feminist, activist extraordinaire, and if I was asked to give one of the reasons I'm here tonight, it is because of you, my dear. Thank you. Yeah. When you have conservative Republican moms in the Midwest, you're looking for Gloria Steinem. You needed her. It was a way to escape. In 1972, Gloria founded Ms. Magazine and remained one of its editors for 15 years. She continues to serve as a consulting editor. In 1968, she helped to found New York Magazine, where she was a political columnist and wrote feature articles. Gloria travels the globe as an organizer, a lecturer, and as a frequent media spokeswoman on issues of equality and justice. She's published best-selling books and magazine articles, produced a documentary and a feature film, and is the subject of the profiles on HBO, Showtime, and Lifetime. You can see the HBO movie about Gloria Saturday night at 6 p.m. here at the Diana Center. And I also just want to say, Gloria was a writer on That Was the Week It Was, and I think that is not said enough. That is not said enough. The precursor to The Daily Show, a precursor to every show, that show was The Balls. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Gloria Steinem.
I have the great pleasure, honor, those words are just not big enough to say it, to introduce Julie Taymor. And Melissa has given me words to read, but she also gave me permission to say some of my own. Now, I am somewhat more cautious when I write things down, but actually I just made notes, so watch out. I've known a lot of very talented, creative, brave, extraordinary, unique people in my life, but I've never known anybody except Julie about whom I found myself spontaneously using the word genius. It just came out. And what was that born of? I don't know. It was born of sitting in the Lion King audience and watching the animals come down onto the stage, the essence of each animal so brilliantly portrayed, and seeing hardened men sitting there weeping with the beauty of a production that would otherwise probably not have been safe for diabetics because it was a Disney production. Then I talked to Julie afterwards, and what was she doing after this huge, huge triumph? She was producing Titus, for which she was raising her own money, little by little by little, instead of going on to the next expected and conventional thing. No, she was being creative all over again. She is a joy to work with. She is supportive of the people around her. She is wall-to-wall excitement because her head is always exploding. And it seems to me right now that she is being wildly, unfairly punished for being indispensable. So let's just tell them that she is indispensable in ways they are not smart enough even to have imagined. She has single-handedly mended the historical split for centuries and centuries between arts and crafts. You may have noticed that art was defined as what white guys did in a European tradition, and crafts was what women and natives did. Have you ever noticed that? But it's all the same stuff, right? So Modigliani would paint an African mask, and Modigliani was an artist, but the person, male or female in Africa, who created the mask was a primitive craftsperson. All right. Julie has mended that split that terrible, terrible punishing split. And I would just like to say to the producers of Spider-Man that Julie is the only reason for anybody over 6 years old to go see that. And if they ever want to have another female theater group, they better fix this situation in which she is the only person who is not getting paid. Furthermore, the spider, I mean, you know, I have to say, I thought, does Spider-Man really deserve Julie Taymor? I mean, you know, I wasn't so sure, you know. But then I thought about it. I thought, well, the spider is the symbol of creativity, because the spider uniquely goes into a space by itself and spins out of its body something beautiful that has never existed before, right? So the spider is indeed worthy of Julie and vice versa. Whether, and we'll see what happens. The jury is out on Spider-Man. Okay, now this is what I was supposed to say. We went through. In her distinguished career that spans the globe, Julie Taymor has directed a wide range of theatrical performances, both on and off Broadway, classical operas, and Hollywood films. Early in her career, Julie lived in Japan and Indonesia, directing theater and getting all these genius ideas of bringing, because really she's brought the globe together, you know, not just arts and crafts. She has brought the globe together. She went on to direct operas with some of the world's finest conductors, from Oedipus Rex in Japan with Jesse Norman. Wasn't that with the great Jesse Norman? To the Magic Flute in Italy, to Salome in Russia. In New York, Julie continued her theatrical career directing Titus Andronicus, a carnival mass at Lincoln Center. In 1997, Julie headed to Broadway to direct the hit show The Lion King, now the 7th longest running show on Broadway. Actually, she has the 2 biggest shows on Broadway right now, right? Okay. The show won 5 Tony Awards, including 2 for Julie, for Best Costume Design and for Best Direction of a Musical, making her the first woman to receive the directing honor. Julie went on to direct The Magic Flute at the Metropolitan Opera and Grendel at the Los Angeles Opera. Am I saying that right? Okay. And Lincoln Center Festival. Her current years and years of developing and designing and directing Spider-Man, Turn Off the Dark on Broadway, have made the show the top go-to-see show on Broadway, and thousands of others over the age of 6 are going to see it because of her. Of course, Julie did not just stop with opera and theater. Her feature film, Frida, about the artist and revolutionary Frida Kahlo, which she directed in 2002, was nominated for 6 Academy Awards and won 2. Her other films include Titus, Across the Universe, and The Tempest, starring Helen Mirren. And we have before us today a miracle in a very delicate, amazing package that you can't believe so much talent comes in. So please welcome Julie Taymor.
That's beautiful. That's my mother, obviously, in more ways than one. I don't even want to talk after that. Well, anyway, thank you so much, Gloria. It is great to be here because if any of you know, I really love goddesses. So whatever kind they may be, like this one, and all the rest of the women here, Athena is a great symbol for what we're talking about. I thought a lot about, when I was asked to think of who were the women, it was really hard when they said it couldn't be your mother. And I won't talk about her, but my mother. So I thought a lot about this, and I was thinking about where I am now. And I want to, in the short 2 minutes that they said I had, let's see if I can do this, it's not one woman. There's about 5. One of them is in this room, and she doesn't know it. But it is the women producers I've worked with. I worked with Lynn Austin and Diane Wondersford, who's over there, many years ago to do Juan Darien. And Lynn mortgaged her house. Diane was there holding up the village that was sliding down the hill in Edinburgh on the stage that was raked, that we didn't know was going to be raked. She was there, Diane was there when we went to Israel and were stopped at the airport right after the Gulf War and gave us the confidence, the cast, to actually go. She was not just a great producer, but a mother to all of us. Then I worked with, on Titus in Italy, Conchita Eroldi, an extraordinary producer who was on the steps of Mussolini's government building below zero, freezing, saying, what do you mean we don't have any more money? You got to be kidding. What do you mean you want it between 1 and 5? What's the most important scene? They're all important. And Conchita was there all through. Any of you filmmakers know what I'm talking about. The next, Frida, I worked with Sarah Green. Now, Frida was an $11 million film, so it's considered low budget with those movie stars and all of that and the visual effects. But we still had money problems. We lived together. Sarah and I were roommates. So when you have your producer who's not only your roommate, but you eat every single meal together and sleep together, so to speak, no, it's not quite the Frida story. Sarah was there through the Harveys, through the whole thing. There's your woman. There's your partner, through thick and thin. Why? The next one. The next one is Lynn Hindi. Lynn Hindi produced The Tempest, and she's going to produce the next 2 films that I want to make if we can raise the money. Lynn was there, 2008, Money Gone. Lynn was there. She's also my best friend. She was there when we were out in Hawaii trying to make the end of The Tempest, and we didn't have the money for The Tempest. We didn't have the money for The Tempest. The producer said, sorry, you can't shoot The Tempest. You'll just have to talk about it, like Shakespeare. And Lynn said, well, okay, they're going to give you 1 day. I said, 1 day? 1 day, 1 night in a little channel here. She said, okay, do 2 days. I'll figure it out later. That's Lynn. Lynn has been there. Now, one more person, because I'm probably at my 2-minute max. Laura Ziskin. Isn't it amazing how we're all brought together with Laura Ziskin? Laura Ziskin gave the money and was going to produce, now with Lynn Hindi, the film that I am passionate to make. It's based on The Flying Dutchman, another theme of mythology, only this time it's about a woman who is roaming and roaming and roaming till she finds love. And Laura was the first producer on that and gave me and my collaborator the money to do it. These are the women who inspire me. They're in the trenches with you. It's not about the money. They believe in these projects that aren't commercial, that they just love them. And I can't do what I do. And none of us can do it if we don't have those leadership women, those women behind us. Artists don't exist. They just go into a hole. I need my ladies. I need those women. I have great men too, and they're over there in the corner. But this is about women. This is about women, and I love my lady, female, powerful, beautiful, selfless, producer women. And I thank Athena for having us all.